In a joint review of cybercrime trends led by the UK, USA, and Australia, it was found that the number of sophisticated ransomware attacks originating from Russia, or being carried out by Russian speakers, has been on the rise over the last year. Last October, the UK's cyber agency GCHQ also stated that UK ransomware incidents had doubled. The UK, like other NATO countries, needs to be ready for a wave of Russian-based cyber attacks over its defense of Ukraine. According to the National Cyber Security Centre, the top sectors often targeted in ransomware attacks are the NHS, universities and schools, businesses, charities, law firms, and councils. For example, at the start of February 2022, KP Snacks, makers of McCoy's crisps and hula hoops, suffered a ransomware attack, resulting in a supply disruption which is expected to last until the end of March 2022 at the earliest. Ransomware is a type of malware that employs an encryption software to the user's device in order to hold their information at ransom. The information or data is encrypted so that the user can't access or read their own files or databases. The criminals then demand a ransom, or payment, in order to release the information back to you. This type of attack can be crippling for organizations and businesses that hold and rely on large customer databases. Most ransomware attacks happen via unsafe websites, text message links, or email attachments that are sent to an employee of the company or organization. This means that every company and organization that uses email services is a potential target. Once the attachment or link has been clicked on, it activates the malware which then infiltrates the user's device and encrypts any data or information held. These criminals are smart and their attacks are usually targeted to a specific person that has access to important files and databases. There isn't one single method that can be used to prevent ransomware attacks, so you need to implement good cybersecurity practices across your business in order to mitigate the risk and potential losses if you do fall victim to an attack. In light of this growing threat, Holly Andrews, MD at KISS Finance, has provided her tips for businesses on how to protect themselves from ransomware attacks. Tip number 1. Educate your employees. Your employees should be your first line of defense against ransomware attacks, so it's vital that everyone on your team is educated on how to identify cyber threats. Your employees should know never to open email attachments from an unknown source, or to download files or software from anywhere that isn't a known and trusted source. It's also important to keep your employees updated on all the latest threats and any new tactics that these criminals are using, so they know what to keep an eye out for. Tip number 2. Keep antivirus software up to date. Just having antivirus software in place isn't enough, it needs to be regularly updated in order to be effective. Make sure that every device in your company or organization is regularly updated with the latest antivirus and anti-malware software. Having software that updates automatically and runs regular checks will give you the greatest level of protection against any potential threats. Tip number 3. In order to limit the risk of ransomware threats, it's important that you limit access of important files to those who really need it. Giving employees access to databases and files that they don't need only widens the risk as criminals have more targets for their attack. Tip number 4. It's absolutely essential to have backups of important files and documents. This is especially the case if your business can't operate without them, as backups will allow you to still have access to your data in the event of a ransomware attack, lessening the impact on your business. Backups should be stored either offline, or in a system that is entirely separate from your business operating systems. Tip number 5. Although taking these safety measures will mitigate the risk of an attack, nothing is 100% bulletproof, and there's still a chance that a ransomware attack can happen. In which case, setting out a response plan ahead of time will ensure that you can respond quickly to a threat. Make sure that all of your employees know who should be alerted in the case of an attack, and what steps they need to take after a breach.